so I can touch one more child. Am I moving too fast? 'Cause I ain't even alone. I feel like I can be honest, baby. We both know that I'm grown, and that's why I wanna know, how many drinks will it take you to leave with me? You look good and I got money, but I don't wanna waste your time. In the back of my mind, I'm hoping you say 2 or 3. You look good and I can't party, but I don't wanna waste no time. Frustrations. Frustrations when I'm watching you dance. Temptation to get in those pants. Come closer.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music, hanging out in Nashville right now with my man, Hollywood Anderson, who we met at this great event that happens here in Nashville called the Pitch Meeting. Tons of awesome musicians are all collaborating there. Tuesday nights usually in town. And I met Hollywood Anderson, but you're originally from Florida.
Yes, sirski, Orlando's finest.
But you've also played a lot of music in New York. So.
Yes, sir. My whole adult life in New York City. Amen.
But you're more of a Renaissance man. I wouldn't call. You're not necessarily a musician per se. You're a dibble dabbler. You dabble in the dibble and the dibble and the dabble.
I appreciate that.
I just made that up.
No, keep that in the. I'm a Renaissance man. I'm taking that to the grave.
But yeah, no, you're just you're with a name like Hollywood, you got to be an entertaining guy.
Yeah, man.
Did the name come before? I feel like the personality came before the name.
Oh yeah, always been turned for the culture. Yeah, always. Come on, guys. Gotta have a good time, baby. Yeah.
Obviously, that's your birth name, right? Hollywood Anderson.
Oh man, clearly. No.
Your parents are like, that's Hollywood.
No, man. My mom actually named me to be a black president or some weird. She named me Anderson Montana Maximilian Footman. Like, who the is Barack Hussein Obama?
Yeah, they got nothing on your name.
Oh man, no, not at all, man. Anderson's my first name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're Hollywood Anderson, as in.
Yeah, the Hollywood's like the Hollywood. The story behind the Hollywood part is essentially like when I started making records, I lived in a shelter, and the young lady who let me in because I don't know if anybody knows how youth shelters in New York work. They're always at capacity. It's crazy. Kids can never really get a bed. So you have to go through a drop-in community center to a bed. And she was why did you move to New York? It's I want to be a star. Be telling me I can sing and yeah. But it's I moved to New York to do stand-up and try to become an actor. Dude, I just got sucked into the thing I was best at, which was singing.
Okay. How long ago was that you were in the shelters and stuff?
Man.
I mean, how old were you, actually?
So if I'm 31, so it was 13, 14 years ago.
Okay. How'd you start playing guitar?
I ran a half marathon. Does not look like it. I literally ran a half marathon with Norman Lotz. Somebody in the building at Covenant House, one of the now directors, was being an ass. It was I bet you can't run a half marathon. I was just if I wanted to, I could. And he was you can't. And I was just I'll do this just to prove you wrong. So I ran with this guy who ended up becoming my dad, Norm. And when I had finished that process, we ran the New York City half marathon. I came to this office 2-3 weeks later. I could finally walk. Runner's knee had totally subsided. And Norm was I know you're singing. And I see these kids all around the city playing and singing. And you sound better than all of them. I'm all right. And he gave me some donated Yamaha C40 that was donated to Covenant House. And or that might have been the second guitar I had after I lost the first one. But he gave me a guitar that was basically gifted to Covenant House to give to a youth who wanted to be an artist or a musician. And I used to go to his office and he would be playing tall, old, Swedish white guy roots. You know what I'm saying? If you see Norm, go look him up on my Idol audition. You'll get why this is so funny. But Norm used to always play Stevie Wonder licks in his office at lunch.
Yeah.
So you just be like walking down the hallway going to lunch, and you hear like, "Isn't she lovely?" And then look at it's like this older, tall ass white dude. You're like, "Bro, you're not supposed to be playing this." He's like, "Is this what you're gonna do at your lunch break?" He's like, "Pretty much. Like, I'm just gonna play Stevie all lunch and then get back to work." And that was like, I was like, this dude's kind of legendary.
Amazing. And so, yeah, so you also just like have performed all over New York. That was kind of...
Yeah, at that point, I had not really been singing anywhere other than the shelter. So all the kids in the shelter was like, no. Like, everything else you came to like New York for, the hell with all that. Shelf that. The singing thing, my boy, you sound different.
So what did you start doing? Like busking out there? Is that what
when
happened?
Lauren gave me the guitar, he gave me the guitar and dropped D tuning. I went to Bedford Ave. I made like $173 after like 3 hours. I was like, y'all don't know if I'm gonna f- with that job program they got going on, because I don't know anybody working at sandwich spot making $143.
No.
$170 in 3 hours.
Most gigging musicians aren't making that much, like playing at a bar or a venue.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there.
You know, like a local band that plays in their local city, or a cover band. That's probably, they're not making that much for their gig. So that's awesome. And that was just right there at the beginning of it. Playing?
That was just there. Like I went to.
So you just like making your own songs up?
Yeah, as that process at the beginning, I was just like making up my songs. I didn't know jack about like guitar capos. I didn't know anything about shapes or chords. I just remember Norm distinctively going, "With this, all you need to know is anywhere you go, it's gonna be the right thing." I was just like, I don't know how this works. And he kind of like, and I had saw enough of like people finger picking, because in my style of play, I'm not really left hand competent at all, but I can find like all these like random rhythms and pockets, because from visually watching, always could see, and like I can hear like that rhythm part, and not like the traditional, but I hear rhythm almost like drums. Like I hear it in a different sense. So when I start playing the guitar, and a lot of times I have like these rhythmic breaks when I'm playing with dope guys who can play lead and play better than me clearly, but I try to have these rhythmic moments so whatever they're playing gets to like almost like breathe, and it becomes like this dance. And so when I went to the platform for the first time, I was just like having like this dance. It was just like the rhythms in my hands, and like as a singer who understands like pocket, who loves hip hop, I could almost like float, and I would just be floating. And then I would and then now it's kind of how I like write songs till this day. And it's just like I'm floating, but then you're like on a train platform and people are like judging you harshly, and you can like see it, you can almost smell it like a dog smells hormones. It's just like, you do not like this. What about this though? And like you kind of like figure it out.
Hold my hands while you lay with me. Tell me what you wanna know. You can ask me anything. If I could hit the lotto but lost you, I wouldn't wanna win a thing. 'Cause your love, it heals my heart's pain. She's perfect, perfect for me. She's perfect. Oh, she's all I need.
Because a lot of times it's like artists and creatives, we get told to do things that could really be to our benefit and to help us acquire more abundance. And sometimes because we don't like the delivery or we don't feel that person should be saying anything to us, it kind of puts us like in this weird position of like unneeded disdain towards somebody who may just be spitting facts. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if I really pay attention to what people like feel as I'm singing and how they hear me and things like that, I could really make a killing and get out of this situation. And it was a pretty hard situation because trying to be a kid in a shelter with a guitar, you can only stay at a youth shelter with an instrument. So then that led to me like staying at adult shelters when your days run out because, you know, I got no credit, got no job, you know, try to get an apartment in New York City with none of those things.
So you started making money?
Just busking. And then like, you know, staying on couches. I lived in some more than unstellar circumstances. Some would call the trap. Not a great place to like have to live every day or try to go to school or whatever the case is. So I was just trying my best to do all these different creative things with like the core of it being like me busking. So I was going to like voice class. I was trying to like get to see stand up as much as possible, which kind of led to like me building relationships with different comics. And I always loved comedy. And then, you know, as I kept busking and kept learning, I kind of took the things I loved. So I would write songs in the beginning that had like lines that weren't necessarily witty in the humorous sense, but they were witty in the way that like good comedy is really hilarious, but it's hilarious because of like the tangent, like you can almost reach out and grab a great joke. Like, damn, my old boy, you know me, bro? You don't know me, but you know me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that part of like, you know, when I even with my song, like my best friend, you like, she's my seasons and my reasons, my summer, my winter, and my spring. It's like lay it out. Like people can understand that, you know, when she's perfect, I don't care about the he say, I don't care about the she say, what they say. Let's stay together. You know what I'm saying? That's real people can like hold on to and go, I know my boy, yeah. These haters, baby, is us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you know, I try to write records that had that kind of like viability for people. So Busking opened up a world for me, and it also helped me to write songs where I was more honest with myself because I understood that real people appreciate honesty and they appreciate the ability to just speak to them without just anything, just yourself, them. And that's kind of how I became like, it's kind of how my career got started. And then, you know, from there, somebody got me a tuner at the shelter. And then shit
very important.
Yeah, tuner. Like once I got the tuner, you know, somebody told me about the Guitar Tuner app. Shit, if y'all ever want to sponsor me, your boy is out here. Yeah. And yeah, man, that was.
As a guitar teacher, in the like your very first guitar lesson video, I say it really doesn't matter how right you're doing. If the guitar's not in tune, it's never going to sound good. So it's like pretty important to get it in tune because that's like step one of it sounding good later. And when you actually start, you know, putting your fingers down.
Yeah, and it was really crazy because like I was like broke in 19, but like making money, but broke in 19, but also like playing an instrument that kind of like culturally isn't like, guitars aren't handed to black people. Like a lot of black people don't even know black people came up with country music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there's like this big cultural disconnect. And then you add that to like, I'm some kid from Florida who grew up playing basketball and football. What does a guitar mean? And like guitar is not a part of my ecosystem at any point until I get to New York and start having these experiences and like dealing with these hardships, and then people around me going, I know you may not know, but I know if you get with this, you can do other things. And so getting paired with the guitar, getting paired with like real New Yorkers, just giving me game. There were times where people would like tune up my guitar for me. Like I'd be so out of tune, but I'd sound like solid singing because I just be knowing where I'm supposed to be vocally. Yeah. And they'd be like, hey bro, that was dope, but you got a tuner? It's like, nah. It's like, I got an app for that. Ding, 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 ding. And I'm like, oh man, this is so embarrassing. But I didn't have like a cell phone or anything.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I mean, so, yeah, it's all part of the learning process.
It was, oh man, my guitar, the training platforms, me and guitar, fuck, hilarious. And the best part is like, there's a whole group of people who I've kind of got to know over the years through the process. And now they're all doing like great things and we're all doing things different. But it's like crazy when somebody writes me and it's just like, man, you remember that time? Like I got off work and I brought you some hot dogs and a Capri Sun. And I was like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful times, man. I'm grateful for all those experiences.
Do you remember like the first thing you learned on guitar? I know you kind of just naturally started messing around with it, but was there any like your first chord or your first?
It was more or less, I learned like shapes because I played like a series of like probably 5 or 6 shapes throughout everything. Especially so I'm right into like the first thing I kind of learned was just like whatever this is.
Yeah.
I was there with it. Like
I got you. Yeah.
You know, some kid was like, if you do this, you can just slide up and down and have a good time. I was like, all right, man. I'll tornado blew around my room before you came. Excuse the mess it made. It usually doesn't. I'm like,
is that your song?
No, that's Frank Ocean.
Oh, Frank Ocean. Yeah, of course.
I'm a genius, but not that genius, you know?
But there you have it right there. What brought you to Nashville? How'd you end up in Nashville first?
I came out to Nashville to like social proof some ideas I had for just like how I want to build a new wave of just like content creation and giving artists access to the right tools and just being supportive in a way where it doesn't make being an artist feel so unattainable. Mm-hmm. So I've been here just social proofing different concepts, writing with other artists, just being an artist, you know what I'm saying? You know, throwing like little micro events just to see how people respond to certain things done a certain way. And now I'm getting ready to go back to New York City and launch a content house. And that's a big blessing. I'm talking to like a bunch of venture capitalists. They all love like the ideas I've presented. And it's been a blessing.
You guys check out Hollywood Anderson stuff. We got links below.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram at Hollywood Anderson, Spotify, Apple Music. Buy my music when I release it because you never know when I might have one of those old school Kanye moments and just take it down. So,
yeah, you never know.
Just pull it off the web. Just stick it to myself. Yeah.
Dude, it was so nice to have some time to hang out and get to know you more.
I can be honest, baby, and we both know that I'm broke. And that's why I wanna know how many drinks would it take you to leave with me? You look good, I got money, but I don't wanna waste my time. In the back of my mind, I'm hoping you say 2 or 3. We get a party and it both look good, but I don't wanna waste no time. Frustration. Oh, frustration's one of my tenues. Yeah. What do I need to do to get in those days? 'Cause I ain't even alone. I feel like I can be honest, baby. We both know that we're grown. And that's why I wanna know how many drinks would it take you to leave with me? You look good and I got money, but I don't wanna waste no time. In the back of my mind, I'm hoping you say 2 or